Hello, my name is Alexey, and in this video we'll continue to talk about Atlassian-Connect-Express. I will not explain what Atlassian-Connect-Express is, why do we need it for, how to create a simple application. We will go straight to the security problems with this Atlassian-Connect-Express and how you can avoid security attacks developing your application. Okay, let's start. I developed a simple application. Here it is. So if I open an issue on which I have the browse permission, I get a web panel. Hello world, and then I get issue summary here, my first issue. You see it equals to issue summary. And also I can get sensitive info for my issue. Get sensitive info. Here is sensitive info for my Mat1 issue. Okay, let's have a look how this application was created. First of all, let's go to Atlassian-Connect-Express, and here I defined a new web panel, example page. I pass here issue key because I need to get the summary for the issue. That's why I need to know the key for which the panel is opened. I put this panel to issue left context. And also I added permission, browse issue permission. So basically this panel will be visible only if the user have browse issue permission for this issue. It looks like this permission is not needed because really if we don't have permissions to browse an issue, then we will not see this panel anyway. But I'm thinking maybe if I add this condition to this web panel later, if a user doesn't have a browse permission to an issue, he will not be able to get this endpoint and get information from this endpoint. Let's see if it works. Okay, so now let's go to our roads, and then here I define this example page. That is how it is defined. I use authenticate true. That's true. I don't know. That's a cool feature. I don't know why, but okay, let's see how it works. Then I get my issue key from the query, which I passed as the context parameter. And then I get issue summary, so I'm using my HTTP client GET, and then I use REST API from Jira Cloud to get the issue summary over here. I put it into a parameter to my HBS template, and also I put their issue key because later I will need it for getting sensitive information. Again, I will show you. So basically, what we've got here, we have my first issue. As defined over here. See, we got it over here, issue summary, and then I have issue key. Issue key, I need to get sensitive info when I push this button. When I push this button, this endpoint works. So what I've got here, I check valid token. What is valid token? Valid token is defined in HBS template. This one, token. So this token is provided by Atlassian-Connect-Express by default, and it's like a CCRF token. So basically you can watch my previous videos on CCRF attacks. I will not go to explain what is a CCRF attacks, but this token is provided by Atlassian-Connect-Express so that later you can verify that the request comes from the page which was opened from this Atlassian-Connect-Express. Okay, so what happens next? I check this token because if you have a look at this example page over here, how I call it, you see that's how I call it. That's my button. And here I've got on click event, and then I've got get sensitive info method called when I push this button. And here is this method. So I fetch data from get sensitive info. I pass issue key. And this fetch data is also a method where I put my token, which I got from Atlassian-Connect-Express, and I put this token as authorization into JWT. That's how it works. That's why. Let's go back to our code to index.js. Again to our get sensitive info, and then so I got the token, I verified the token is correct. then got this issue key parameter, and then I call getSensitiveInfo. Right now it's a very simple method. Basically, if the issue key equals mat1, I return SensitiveInfo of mat1. If issue key equals to Alex1, it's another issue which we have here in my Jira, but I don't have browse access because, as you can see right here, I cannot see it because I don't have browse issues permission for the issue. So I return Alex1. This is my super sensitive info for Alex1. Right now it's a very simple method, but imagine you can get, for example, the sensitive info from any other application. For example, you've got a Salesforce and you want to get information from Salesforce, and then you will put this issue key and get this info. Or for example, you can get this information from a database. Also, you provide this issue key and then you get information. So basically, you get the sensitive information according to the issue key which you provide. Okay, so that's how everything works. It looks solid. What possibly can go wrong? But okay, let's start to explore this application. Okay, we open the developer console. Now let's refresh our page. And here in our developer console, we need to find our call to example page. Here it is. Let's copy it. I copied it. And now I'm going to Postman. Here it is. And then I add what I copied over here. Let me try to execute it. As you can see, I got the summary of the issue for mat1. Now let's try to change the key of the issue over here. You see, I pass the key of the issue over here. And as I said, I also have Alex1 issue, but I don't have browse permissions to it. Let's see if I can get it. Let's try it. And as you can see, I got the issue summary for this issue, and that is not what I expected. I expected I would not be able to get any issue to which I don't have permissions. I can show you even more. Suppose I'm an anonymous user. I'll open a new incognito window. Here it is. And I made this project mat is browsable for anonymous user, but all other projects cannot be browsed by anonymous user. You see here I'm not logged in. And what I'm going to do here, again, I'm opening the developer tools. Let me refresh the window. Here is my call. I'll copy it. Then I'm going to Postman. I pass here the string. Let's choose. And as you can see, for mat1 I was able to see the issue summary. Let me try to change the issue key. I also Alex1. That's the issue which cannot be viewed by any anonymous user. Let's try it, and you see again, I was able to retrieve issue summary. And that's what we've got here. We've got elevated permissions. Now, what went wrong? Let's try to understand it. First of all, let's have a look at our atlassian-connect-JSON. Do you remember I told you that I added condition here, browse issue, but as we can see, it doesn't help. And you need to remember that this condition only plays its role for the modules. For example, this web panel will not be shown if a user doesn't have the browse issue condition. If you put here edit, then it will not be shown if a user doesn't have the edit issue permission. But it doesn't influence in any way the endpoint itself. Endpoint itself can be called. That's why you need to implement some security inside the endpoint. Let's go to endpoint. Here it is, roads. Here's our endpoint. Do you remember I put here true? Like, yeah, that's kind of funny parameter, because when like you can see here, I don't authenticate true, then it definitely is going to be checked for authentication, right? But it's not correct. Basically, this true parameter means that when a JWT constructed, we've got inside this JWT a hash of the complete URL. And this parameter true says to atlassian-connect-express not to check this hash. That's why you were able to change here these parameters, any parameter, and Atlassian-Connect-Express would not check if it's the same as the hash inside the JWT. You cannot forfeit JWT, you cannot make your own JWT because you don't know shared secret. If anyone can construct a JWT, then it means that the whole security of Atlassian is compromised. That's why we are taking it as that you cannot construct yourself JWT. That's why you should trust the JWT you receive. And that is why you need to check the hash of the complete URL inside this JWT. And that's exactly what you've got to do here. You need to delete the true parameter, and in this case this hash will be checked. Now let's try to build our application, restart it, and have a look what we will have. Okay, I restarted my application, and now we can try to see what will happen. Again, I will refresh my page. I get the example page, I will copy it, here it is. I'll go to Postman and then try to get information. Yeah, I was able to get information for Matt1. Now let's try to get for Alex1. Send. And that's it. Authentication failed because query hash does not match. That's it. Now you cannot change any context parameter, and that's good. So basically, right now everything works. I can see only one problem there. For example, let's say you've got this JWT token, and then you remove this permission. And while this JWT token is still not expired, you can use this JWT token. And that's not what we want. We want to be able to remove permissions in real time. That's why we need to rewrite our function. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I implemented the changes. First of all, what I want to do, I changed get issue summary. Let's have a look. Right now, I'm calling the client, the HTTP client, not by the application name, not by the application permissions, but by the user who called this endpoint. To do that, I need to use suser by account ID. And right now, this REST API is called using permissions of this user account ID. How I get this account ID? Let's go back here, and I get this user account ID from request context. This request context contains already user account ID. So I get the user account ID, pass it into this get issue summary, and then I call this HTTP client, this REST API, I call using suser by account ID. In this case, I think our problem is solved. Let's try it. I'll call again our endpoint. Here it is. Let me copy it. And let's go to Postman, paste it, call. Now we got for the correct issue, Met1. Now let's change it. try it. And you see the query hash failed. That's we fix this error by removing this true parameter from our method. And that's it. That's it how we can fix this error. Right now our application is fine. I mean, this endpoint where we get issue summary is fine. And let's also try to check it with the anonymous user. Let's copy it. Let's try to open. And as you can see, we've got a problem. It didn't work because account ID is empty and we cannot call this REST API with this anonymous user. We could implement some other changes, but I would like to tell you one thing. That basically when you get a module, for example, the example page, do not do all the logic inside this module itself. Do not get issue summary or whatever any logic you want. It's better if you just return a simple HTML template and then already inside this template you will call JavaScript, which will fetch the endpoint you need. Okay, let's rewrite our application to this one and I will show you what I mean. Okay, I rewrote example page. First of all, I removed this user account ID. We're not going to do with it right now. And basically, I don't do anything in this example page. I just return this HBase template with issue key and title. Okay, what I changed in example page. In example page, TSX, I added use layout effect. It means that when the page is loading, this method will be called. I called get issue summary, I pass their issue key, and then I get this issue summary and set it to my state variable. And then I put it in the column over here. And now let's have a look at this get issue summary method. It's over here. I get issue summary over here. So basically what I'm doing, I'm getting the issue key from the query, and then I get issue summary. I removed this method to get under this user account ID. I'm getting it as the application itself. Okay, let's see how it works. Let's upload the page. Yeah, I'm here. I put a breakpoint. Okay, I'll remove it. And then let's have a look what we've got. Yes, our summary was fetched correctly. Now let's try to play with this get issue summary endpoint. Let's copy it. Let's go to Postman. Let's go over here. And then, as you can see over here, we are using JWT as authorization over here. Where is it? Here it is. So I will copy it, go to Postman, and add authorization header and put the value. Okay, let's try. And I got issue summary, correct. So I was able to get issue summary for Matt1. Now let's have a look if I can get it for Alex1, for which I don't have permissions. Alex1. And you see I was able to get it. So it means that I can modify this issue key and then I can get any information I want. The same will be with the sensitive information. How to avoid this problem? First of all, in Atlassian Connect, you've got JavaScript API, and this JavaScript API has a method called getToken, and in this case, the context token is returned, and we are going to use this context token. Okay, I will replace the code with correct implementation, and then we will have a look how it works. Okay, I will show you what I changed. First of all, I removed the token from here. You see, I don't return token anymore because I don't need it. I will be using the context token. Secondly, if we go to example page, in the user layout effect, I use atlassian-connect-express and then I get this token and send it as the token in my get issue summary. The same I did for get sensitive info. You see, I also get the context token and then put it into get sensitive info. And then when I go to roads, what I've done here, I get the issue key from this context token. This context token is now in JWT, which means that the attacker cannot change it or something like this, because as you can see here, I don't send issue key anymore. So attacker cannot change it. So in this issue key will be there. The same I did for get sensitive info. Okay, let's try to execute it. I'm again in the debugger. Okay, I will go forward. You see, here I am. That's my first issue. I got the issue summary. Now let's try to get the sensitive info. Let's push this get sensitive info, and then we get it. Okay, now if we have a look at what we call here, for example, get issue summary, you can see that we don't pass any parameters. So the attacker cannot forfeit it or do something like this, so it works. So right now our endpoints are secure. I would want to add one thing. Right now I'm kind of having, by the way, let's check for anonymous users. Let's check for anonymous users. And you see it also works. It also works for anonymous user. What I would like to add here. Right now our permissions are kind of very simple. It means that, for example, over here, for example, let's go to get sensitive info. Here it is. So basically I'm getting the key, but I don't know exactly if the user has the browse permission or not, because I'm going to get the sensitive info and I don't know exactly if the user has this permission or not. But I can guess that if the user called this from the browse page, so it means that the user has this permission. But it would be nice actually to check again if the user has this permission. At least it would make our endpoint more secure. Who knows what can go wrong. And how to do it? It can be done very easily using atlassian-connect-express. I'll show how to do it. Okay, here is the code. What I changed here, I added don't authenticate true, that's correct, and then I don't authorize Jira, and then I said that project permission must be browse project. And only in this case, if the user has browse project permission, then we should go inside this endpoint. Okay, let's see how it works. Yes, we got the summary. Okay, let's push get sensitive info, and then we got the sensitive info. Let's change a bit our example. Let's say that we can get sensitive info only if the user has edit issues permissions. Over here, edit issues. Okay, let's see how it works. Let's refresh the issue. We get issue summary. Now let's push get sensitive info. Yeah, we get this sensitive info. Now let me change the project scheme. I will remove edit issues permissions for anyone. Let's go here. Not here. Let's go here. Then we'll go to schemes. Permissions. Edit. And then remove edit issues over here. Okay, now if I refresh my issue, I should not be able to edit it. Yeah, when I try to push the button here, I cannot edit it. Okay, let me get sensitive info. And you see I've got an error here. 401. So it means that I edit here edit issues permissions, and it means that this permission were checked. The user doesn't have these permissions, so that's why this method wasn't executed. Let's check it for anonymous user. Yeah, you see, so I've got here my first issue, but get sensitive info I cannot get because anonymous user also doesn't have permissions to edit the issue. That is how it works. So in short, first of all, never write any logic in modulus over here. Always use authenticate without the true parameter. In this case, the hash of the query string is checked. When you use conditions in Atlassian Connect over here, these conditions only apply to this module which you define. It doesn't apply to the endpoint. All logic do with the endpoints which you call from the front end. In this case, your application becomes more responsive, and you can get something. For example, you can get half of information put on the screen while you get another half of information. So your application becomes more user-friendly. You can put there beautiful UI showing that you're loading the page, all the things. And when you call these endpoints from front end, use context JWT. In this context, you already have issue key if you are on the issue page, or the project. If you are, for example, let's say working with the project, you already have the project key. So you can get all these parameters, all necessary parameters for the context right from JWT. And in this case, nobody will be able to change something and get more results from your application than the user is permitted to get. Another thing, also, if For example, your endpoint should be secured, for example, for users who has browse permissions, edit permissions, whatever. Use inbuilt in Atlassian-Connect-Express this function called authorized GRI for Confluence, authorized Confluence, as I showed you. Let me show you again. Over here. Use it, and then this endpoint will not be executed if the user who tries to execute it doesn't have this permission. By the way, let's have a look at Atlassian Connect Express and see how this authorized GRI is implemented, because there is no magic. Let's say you don't have Atlassian Connect Express, you use something else. Basically, it's easy to implement. Let's open the source code of Atlassian Connect Express. Then we go to lib. Yeah, it's in authorization authorized GRI, and here you see what is called. It's called REST API 3 permission check. That's basically how you can check your permissions if you don't use Atlassian Connect Express. That's all for now. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good day. Bye bye.